Hello everyone, this is Magbo Gaming here, and today we're gonna do a pretty big rant on Nintendo. Yep.
Rant time!
So, what's going on here? It's almost been a month since the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, and now suddenly Nintendo said, oh, we are gonna bump up the price of the Nintendo Switch 1. Yes, we're talking about the original Switch, the OG Switch from 2017. We're talking about the Switch Lite and even the Switch OLED. How much are they gonna increase the price? We don't know until like August 1st. So this August 1st is not a day that a lot of us are gonna be looking forward to, because that's the day when they're gonna announce what is gonna be the new price for all those Switch ones. So if you think that the Switch 2 is bad enough, it's like at the point logically before this whole craziness happened of 2020 or before the Switch and stuff like that, historically Nintendo always had a price drop after the next successor comes out, even before the successor comes out. I remember, like, for example, the 3DS, the first year it went from $250 to $169, and then when the 2DS came out, it was $129 because they took out the 3D, so they made it more cheaper and affordable. And we have a couple of price drops from the 2DS itself. One that went down to $100 and the other one went down to as low as $80. That was the most affordable way you could be able to play the 2DS at the time. And then there were other price drops from older consoles as well, like the Game Boy Advance, the GameCube and stuff. And then once the new console comes out, the previous console gets a huge price drop to be as low as maybe $50 to $100 for the console. So if you're not able to afford their current consoles, you can still get into the experience with the last gen console, play the games that were on it and stuff. And after you enjoyed it enough, and then it will be more motivating for you to buy their current console. And that's how they get their sales. A lot of these people that were not able to afford it in the beginning of the console's life, when they went down a lot of new people started coming in and buying this console. Don't you think that if the Switch would have lowered the price instead of going up, they would have already achieved over 160 million units and surpassing the PS2? Like, I think for a fact, if Nintendo had lowered the price by $100 for all three models, the Switch 1 being, I would say, $200, the Switch Lite will be $100 to $120, and the Switch OLED will be $250 after the Switch 2 launch or right before the Switch 2 launch. And it will actually get people to, new people that were very lower poor class to be able to afford this system afterwards. Who knows? But now they're gonna increase the price? Are you freaking high? Nintendo, are you freaking crazy? What's going on with Doug Bowser and all these people at Nintendo? That now, instead of them lowering the prices to get newer consumers into the Switch 1 ecosystem because they couldn't afford a Switch 2. I mean, seriously, like, I just don't get it. Like, everything's going on. I mean, Microsoft already increased their price. Now it's Nintendo. Eventually Sony's gonna do the same. Just pretty crazy. So what is it? The Switch is gonna be, the OG Switch is gonna be like $350 or $400. The Switch Lite is gonna be $250 or something. The Switch OLED is gonna be up to $400, just $50 to $100 cheaper than the Switch 2 currently is right now. Is that how it's gonna be? Like $50 increases for each of them? When we're in an economy that a lot of people cannot afford these things, and that they're living on survival mode these days, they don't care. They just want to screw us over at this point. They know that a lot of suckers were buying into the Switch 2 and say, oh, they bought the Switch 2 for $450. So maybe the people that bought the Switch 2 will buy another Switch 1 that they can use to connect with Switch 2 or something like that. I just don't get it, really. Because historically, I'm also mad at the PS5 still being $500 today. Like, why is the PS5 not $300 now? Like, it's been almost 5 years since the PS5 came out, and it's still $500, and they say that we're gonna increase it to $600+ or more. Like, this is not how we're supposed to progress as a gamer in the gaming industry. This is gonna destroy the gaming industry. A lot of people are gonna be priced out of it, and you're gonna get a lot less people buying it. I mean, look at how the game key cards are selling. They're not doing very good, right? And they're still selling at full price for something you don't own. And then now with the Switch 1 prices increasing, I'm glad I got my Switch. But if anything happens to my current Switch, well, it's gonna be more unaffordable to get a replacement for the Switch 1. I might as well go for Switch 2. And the Switch 2 has a lot of problems too. So I'm like, I'm taking good care of my regular Switch, the red one, and the Switch Lite that's yellow. Because I'm not selling those for nothing. Those things are valuable to me. Those things are precious to me. There's a lot of Switch games I would love to continue to play on that thing for years to come. I mean, I could live without Switch 2 for the next couple years or so while they keep building up their library. But I don't know. It's like if Nintendo does not realize what they're doing is going to affect them as a company, then there's going to be a eventual video game crash. Same with Sony, same with Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't matter too much because they already know that their console doesn't matter if they sell or not. But Sony PlayStation with their $500 console still, the slim model being $500, the digital edition being $450, and the PS5 Pro being, well, I guess it's $700 now. It was $750 before. I guess it's $650 now, if I'm not mistaken. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But yeah, PS4 Pro had a price drop recently, right? So it's like these companies does not care. They think that everyone should be able to buy their console, but they keep pricing out a lot of people. Be honest, it's not just the Nintendo Switch. I'm still salty of the PS5. Like, people are still selling used PS5 for $400. Look at this video clip real quick. I just wanted to get you an example so you can see how the future of the Nintendo Switch is like. So this is why I complain so much of why the PS5 is so damn expensive still. This is a used price tag for PS4. Very affordable, very cheap. I can get it so easily, no problem. I already got it, but you get the idea. Look at this PS5. Yep, it's the disk space one. I think it's a slim. $428.99 for a f***ing used one. Why? Why? And look at this. This is actually cheaper in the box. So it's kind of weird, but it's still too high. You see that in this pawn shop? A PS4 is less than $100 right now. Like, it's super affordable and there's still new games coming from it. Versus a freaking PS5 that's still over $400 for a used unit. Like I said, a used PS5 should have been around $250 to $300 at this point. Why? There's not enough exclusive games. It's been more than 4 to 5 years in the market. So, you know, the demand shouldn't be so high that you should be keeping at that price. Instead, you should be lowering the PS5 price to be lower than the Switch 2. Or to compete with the Switch 2 if the Switch 2 would have been cheaper. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below because, like, this is ridiculous. Why the heck are they increasing the prices for the Nintendo Switch 1? That means that Sony is going to increase the prices of their PS5 even more than it already is right now. And Microsoft already did the same. Oh yeah, I just want to make things clear right now. For the time being, all this is being announced only in Canada. It's not being announced worldwide just yet. But we do have an idea that this is eventually going to reach other parts of the world, because if Canada goes through with it, maybe the trade wars with Trump on Canada is affecting this. Who knows if things are going to happen the same in the US. I mean, we'll just have to see in August 1st, and I'll be sure to update you guys on August 1st or after that on how the price increase is going to be going. So yeah, let's get back to the video. And then, like, now at this point, it's like there are cheaper alternatives, but you have to go to third party. You have to go to sell with the 7 Seas with Luffy and the gang and the One Piece, so you can pirate these games. It's increasing piracy. People are more inclined to pirate now because of how unaffordable these consoles are these days. It's ridiculous, and I don't support this crap whatsoever. That's why at this point, like, I do not want to buy anything new from these companies, and the only exception is that if I have more than enough disposable income for me to say, okay, once in a while I'll treat myself to something that they're selling at those prices. But yeah, like me with the Steam Deck, I spent $500 on it. I never spent around that on a console before, to be honest. But since it's a PC, it's also an operating system. You could play thousands and thousands of games on that thing, and you could easily emulate that thing with no issues. You know, it's not that hard to learn. Yeah, and then you try to mod a switch, you put a MIG switch on it, get bricked forever, and that's it. You know, you get the idea. So I hate the fact that we are living in a world today that instead of the consoles that has been out for years go down in price and become more affordable for consumers, especially with the struggling economy, because they were struggling once before in the 2008 financial crisis and the consoles were becoming more affordable. Sony had to severely price drop the PS3 from $600 when it first came out all the way down to $300 or $200. That's how it's supposed to be for the PS5, but no, it stays the same. It's stagnated or it just goes up, and it's like you're done. You know, if you're poor, you don't deserve to be in gaming, apparently is what they're telling you. So I'm just happy to have what I have. I'm just going to continue enjoying the games that I have, and you're not going to see me with a Switch 2 for quite a long time, or maybe even a PS5. I do want a PS5 myself, but until I find one at $300 or less, then I'm not going to buy it. You guys are saying, oh, it's never going to go down to $300. Oh, inflation. Oh, tariffs and stuff like that. Stop justifying what's going on today. Remember how things were back in the day. Seriously, you just stop justifying these prices, because that's why you're enabling these big corporations to doing what they do to increase these prices, and then you nimrods with no brains that supports this type of practices, you'll just buy it no matter what price it is. You can bury yourself into debt in order to get these consoles for super inflated prices these days. Because I'm gonna be freaking honest with you before I leave. The PS5 is extremely inflated. The Switch 2, of course, is extremely inflated. The Xbox Series X and X, they're inflated. They all should be a lot cheaper right now. The Switch, the Xbox, the Series X and X, and PS5, they should all be around $300 or less. The Switch one should have been around $200 or less at this point. No excuses there. That's how I feel. I'm not sure if you feel the same way as me, but let me know in the comment section below how you feel about these Switch prices skyrocketing or whatever. We'll find out on August 1st exactly how much they're gonna go up, and I'll be reporting this again. So good luck on that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Magbo says, I know that there's a lot of people that cannot afford to game hunt like they used to do in the past. I'm kind of like that right now. I'm kind of like in the sleepy season right now. I'm like hibernating from all that I've been through the last year of all the spending and all that stuff, but it's not because of the games that, you know, I'm in this situation. It's some other personal things that I'm not going to say. At least I'm brave enough to actually admit that. I'm not in the financial positions I used to be to buy like new consoles. Like if I was in the financial position like I was back in 2017, 2018, yeah, I would have bought a PS5 by now. I would have bought a Switch 2 most likely not so long after it came out. But that's not the case these days, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get those two consoles. And you know what? That's fine. I'll enjoy my Steam Deck, my Switch 1, PS4, and all the other retro consoles I got. So I hope you enjoy the hunt, enjoy the games that you have right now. Definitely make good memories with those. And if you really want an expensive console, a console you really want but they're too pricey for you right now, I feel you, man. I really feel you. You definitely deserve better than this, especially also with the job market the way it is today. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Magbo out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. Check these videos too that are related to what you just watched. I'm sure you will find some enjoyment there. You can also follow me on Instagram and support the channel via Patreon or buy my Magbo merch. Links below. Hope to see you again soon.